Welcome to the Terror Teller. Here, every story is a door that should never have been opened. Forgotten places rotting in darkness, figures that drift through the night, secrets so old they were never meant to survive time itself. If you're here, it's not by chance. Something drew you in, something that lurks in the shadow of every tale. Get comfortable, turn off the lights, and listen, because some stories don't end when the video does.
I've always been a night person. Even as a kid, I found comfort in the quiet hours when everything slowed down and felt more honest. 5 years ago, I was living downtown in a large U.S. city. Concrete, glass, street lights, and sirens humming in the background like white noise. I shared a small apartment with a roommate who treated sleep like a religion. By midnight, he was gone to the world. I wasn't. Most nights, once the apartment went silent, I'd lace up my shoes and go walking. No destination, no headphones, just long, aimless loops through neighborhoods I knew better than my own living room. I'd think about work, life, nothing at all. Walking helped me feel grounded. I did this for nearly 4 years. 4 years of walking alone at night, and not once did I feel genuinely afraid, not even close. I used to joke that my city's criminals had better manners than most people I worked with. Strangers kept to themselves, night workers nodded politely, even the sketchier areas felt predictable. That false sense of security is important to understand. It's the reason I didn't listen to my instincts when I finally should have. It was a Wednesday night, technically Thursday morning, somewhere between 1 and 2 a.m. The city was unusually quiet. No bars emptying, no late buses hissing at stops. Even the traffic felt distant, like it was happening in another part of the world. I had wandered farther than usual, looping around a small park that was regularly patrolled by police cars. It was empty, as always, at that hour. Bare trees rattled softly in the wind. The air smelled like cold pavement and damp leaves. Eventually, I turned down a short side street to head back toward my apartment. That's when I noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side of the sidewalk, there was a man. At first, I thought he was drunk, or maybe listening to music I couldn't hear. He was dancing. Not wildly, not stumbling. It looked almost formal, like a slow waltz. 3 steps, a turn, then a strange forward stride that didn't quite belong. He wasn't dancing in place. He was moving toward me, dance walking. I slowed down instinctively. The street was narrow, lined with parked cars and dim yellow streetlights that cast long shadows. As he got closer, I realized how controlled his movements were, graceful even, too deliberate to be drunken. He was tall, uncomfortably tall, long arms, narrow shoulders. He wore an old suit, dark, loose, like it hadn't fit him properly even when it was new. I told myself not to stare. Still assuming he was just some eccentric night wanderer, I stepped closer to the curb, giving him most of the sidewalk so he could pass. That's when I really looked at his face. His eyes were wide open, staring upward, not at me, not at the street, but at the sky. His head was tilted back slightly, neck exposed, and his mouth was stretched into a smile so wide it looked painful. Not joyful, not friendly, just wide, fixed, like a mask pulled too tight over a face. Something cold slid into my stomach. Without thinking too hard about it, I decided to cross the street. No panic, just distance. I took my eyes off him for a second to check for cars. The street was empty. I crossed quickly and glanced back. He had stopped dancing. He was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly lined up with where I now stood on the opposite sidewalk, facing me, still staring upward, still smiling, not moving. I stopped walking. My heart was suddenly loud in my ears. I remember thinking how absurd it was that someone standing still could feel more threatening than someone approaching. After a few seconds, I forced myself to keep walking. I didn't turn my back completely. I watched him from the corner of my eye. He didn't follow. When I had put about half a block between us, I finally looked away, just long enough to check the sidewalk ahead. It was empty. No one, no movement. I looked back again. He was gone. Relief washed over me so fast it made me dizzy. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Then I saw him. He had crossed the street. He was crouched low near a parked car, his body bent at an unnatural angle. I couldn't make out all details, but I was sure of one thing. He was facing me. I had only looked away for maybe 10 seconds. There was no way he could have moved that fast without running. I stood there frozen, staring at him. My mind refused to catch up with what my eyes were seeing. The street felt suddenly enormous and empty, like a stage built just for the two of us. Then he started moving again. This time he exaggerated every step, high on his toes, knees bent, arms loose at his sides, like a cartoon villain sneaking up on someone who couldn't see him. Except he was moving very, very fast. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to run, to reach for my phone, to do anything. But I couldn't. Fear pinned me in place. I remember thinking that if I moved, something worse would happen. He closed the distance quickly. Then, just like before, he stopped. About a car length away, facing me, head tilted back, eyes still fixed on the sky, smile unchanged. There was no sound except the faint hum of a distant highway and the whisper of wind between buildings. He didn't breathe loudly, he didn't speak, he didn't blink. I felt like prey that had been noticed, evaluated, and temporarily spared. That's when the spell broke. I turned and ran. I didn't look back, I didn't slow down. I sprinted until my lungs burned and my legs shook, until I reached the brighter, busier streets where traffic lights buzzed and a lone car passed like a miracle. I ran all the way to my apartment building. Inside the lobby, my hands shook so badly I dropped my keys twice. Before unlocking the door, I glanced out the window, scanning the sidewalk, the street, the shadows. Nothing. No tall man, no old suit, no smile. I didn't sleep that night. For weeks afterwards, I replayed the encounter in my head, trying to rationalize it. Maybe he was mentally ill. Maybe he was high. Maybe fear had exaggerated everything. But there was one detail I couldn't explain. He never once looked at me, not directly. It was like he always knew exactly where I was without needing to see me. I stopped going on night walks after that, completely. Even now, years later, I feel uneasy if I'm outside alone after midnight. Sometimes when I catch my reflection in dark glass, I think of that smile, how wide it was, how effortless. And I wonder if he ever stopped dancing, somewhere in the city, under the same indifferent sky, waiting for someone else who thinks the night belongs to them. That's the thing about fear. You don't notice it until it's standing perfectly still, smiling, and you finally realize you were never alone.
I still don't remember the exact moment my life split into before and after. There wasn't a sound, no dramatic realization, no warning bell going off in my head. Just a question. Where's Emily? That was it. 6 words spoken casually from the front doorway that hollowed me out from the inside. People like to think forgetting something important feels obvious when it happens, like you instantly know you've messed up. But that's not how the brain works. It doesn't announce mistakes. It hides them behind habits, behind routines, behind the comforting lie that everything is happening the way it always does. That morning felt normal, completely normal, and that's what scares me the most. I've always been a creature of routine. Same wake-up time, same shower, same breakfast, same drive, same drop-off, same office parking spot. I could have done it blindfolded. After years of repetition, my body handled it without my permission. Autopilot. I remember waking up already tired. The sun was too bright for that hour, pressing through the curtains like it had somewhere urgent to be. I rolled out of bed, reached for my phone on the nightstand, and frowned when it wasn't there. That should have been the moment. Instead, my brain filled in the gap. Probably left it charging in the kitchen, I thought. I showered, shaved, let the radio mutter about another record-breaking heat wave. Everything slid neatly into place. My thoughts drifted while my body moved. Autopilot engaged. Emily wandered into the kitchen in her pajamas, rubbing one eye, hair sticking up in odd directions. She squinted at the sunlight flooding through the window and complained about the bad sun, the way she always did, said it hurt her eyes and made it hard to sleep in the car. I poured her cereal. She ate slowly. Milk dribbled down her chin. I wiped it away automatically, barely looking. Routine. I carried her to the car, buckled her into her seat behind me, listened as she kicked her feet against the fabric, and sighed dramatically. "Daddy, can you move me? The sun's bad." "I know," I said, reaching back and adjusting the shade. "Try to sleep." She settled, quiet. Autopilot engaged. The drive to work was a blur of heat shimmer and familiar turns. The steering wheel burned my palms. The air already smelled faintly of hot plastic and dust. I don't remember stopping at lights. I don't remember traffic. I don't remember passing the nursery. The day itself passed in fragments. Emails, meetings, ice melting in plastic cups, complaints about the heat. I remember sitting at my desk and thinking how strange it was that I hadn't checked my phone yet. That was the moment the illusion cracked. I reached into my pocket. Nothing. Checked my bag. Nothing. The room felt suddenly off-kilter, like the floor had shifted an inch to the left. I replayed the morning in my head, slower this time. The dead battery, the charger, the kitchen counter. My phone was still at home. Autopilot disengaged, just enough to sting. I cursed quietly, irritated but not panicked. People forget their phones all the time. It didn't feel important. I couldn't have explained why. The rest of the afternoon crawled. The heat outside turned violent. Pavement shimmered. The city felt baked, brittle. Even inside the office, the air conditioning struggled, humming like it might give up at any moment. When 5 o'clock finally came, I drove home with the windows cracked, the car exhaling stored heat like a held breath. There was a smell, faint at first, something sour and heavy. I blamed old upholstery. Summer did that to cars. The driveway crunched under my tires. The sound grounded me, familiar, safe. My wife opened the door before I could even shut the engine off. She smiled, then frowned. "Where's Emily?" The world went quiet. Not silent, quiet, like everything had stepped back to watch. What?" I said. "She's not with you?" she asked, already looking past me toward the car. Time stretched thin. I laughed. I actually laughed, because that made more sense than anything else. She's at the nursery, I said. I must have just forgotten, caught in my throat. I was already backing toward the car. I'll go get her, I said, too quickly. Traffic, phone, long day. I'll be right back. My wife's face had gone pale. She didn't argue. That scared me more than anything. I drove faster than I should have. The sun was lower now, but the heat lingered, pressing against the windshield. Every red light felt personal, every second stretched. The nursery parking lot was empty. That wasn't unusual. I jogged to the front door, already rehearsing apologies, excuses, jokes to soften the late fee. That's when I saw the paper taped to the glass. Due to vandalism overnight, please use side entrance. Overnight. My stomach dropped. The front door hadn't been locked this morning. Had it? My hand started shaking. Vandalism meant change. Change meant interruption. Interruption meant awareness. And my phone was on the counter. I hadn't stopped here. I walked slowly around the side of the building. The air felt thicker back there, still, the kind of still that presses against your ears. The side door was unlocked. Inside, the lights were off. Too off. I stepped forward and called her name. Emily? My voice sounded wrong, like it didn't belong to me. There was no answer. No toys, no bags, no staff. Just a note on the counter. Closed today. Please contact administration. I don't remember leaving the building. I remember running. The drive back home felt unreal. My mind replayed the morning over and over, each time revealing a detail I'd ignored. Her seat shifting behind me, the silence, no singing, no questions, no complaints. She'd fallen asleep, out of the bad sun. I'd driven right past the nursery, because autopilot didn't recognize the change, because my brain thought the routine was complete, because my phone was on the counter. The car was still hot when I pulled into the driveway, too hot. The air inside felt wrong, thick, heavy, suffocating. That smell was stronger now, sweet, rotten. I stood there for a long time, staring at the back door, my body refusing to move. I already knew, but knowing and accepting are different things. My hand hovered over the handle. I thought about the phone, still charging, silent, useless. I opened the door. The heat hit me like a wall. And then, I won't describe it. I don't need to. You already know what happens when a routine breaks and no one notices in time. They told me it was an accident. They told me these things happen. They told me the brain isn't designed for perfection. But sometimes, late at night, I hear her voice in the quiet moments between sleep and waking, complaining about the bad sun. And I wonder how many other people are driving right now, trusting autopilot, trusting routine, trusting their brains to notice when something changes. And I wonder how many of them still think forgetting a phone is the worst thing that can happen.
I'm not sure why I'm writing this, Nye. Maybe guilt has a way of surfacing when it's too late to fix anything. Or maybe I'm just trying to convince myself that telling the story means I didn't imagine it. Either way, if you're listening to this, then I need you to hear everything. Not skim it, not skip ahead. Every detail matters. That's how it starts. I'm a single mother. I've been one for most of my adult life, and I won't pretend I wear it proudly. I don't post inspirational quotes about resilience. I don't talk about how rewarding it is. Motherhood, for me, was responsibility first and affection second. Necessary, heavy, constant. My son's name was Jesse. He was 11 years old. Up until last year, he was a normal kid, loud when excited, quiet when focused, endlessly curious about things that didn't matter. He liked facts about space, hated math homework, and still believed that if you tried hard enough, most things worked out. That changed the second week of 5th grade. He came home on a Tuesday, quieter than usual. Not upset, just drained, pale. His backpack hung from one shoulder like it weighed too much. When I asked him how his day was, he smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I made a new friend," he said. "That's good," I told him. "What's his name?" "Stan," Jesse said. Then, after a pause, "He's the best friend." I laughed lightly. "Already?" "He's the best," Jesse repeated. "The best in the world." There was something wrong with the way he said it. Not enthusiasm, certainty, like he'd been repeating something he'd been told to remember. That night, Jesse barely touched his dinner. His skin felt clammy when I brushed his forehead. No fever, no cough, no explanation. Every time I asked what was bothering him, he gave me the same answer. "Stan's my best friend." By the 4th time, my patience thinned. "I heard you," I said. "I'm glad you like him." Jesse just stared at me, eyes wide, like I'd missed something important. When I tucked him into bed, he asked me to lean closer. The room was dark, except for the hallway light spilling under the door. He cupped his hands around my ear, the way kids do when they think secrets are fragile. "Mom," he whispered, "you believe me, right?" "About what?" I asked. He didn't answer. The doorbell rang a few minutes later. It was late for visitors, especially kids. I slipped on a robe and opened the front door. 2 children stood on my porch. The boy was about Jesse's age, tall, thin, with hair that looked like it had never been brushed properly. His eyes were too still. The girl beside him was younger, maybe 8, holding herself with an unnatural calm. They didn't fidget, they didn't whisper. "Hi, Driz," the boy said casually. "Is Jesse home?" My stomach tightened. No one had called me that in years. It was a stupid nickname from college, buried under time and responsibility. "I think you have the wrong house," I said. The girl smiled. "You already know his name." I looked back at the boy. "Stan," I said. She giggled like it was a joke only she understood. Stan nodded. "We just came to explain the rules." "The rules for what?" I asked. Stan tilted his head, considering me. "The soul game." Before I could respond, he began speaking, his voice calm and rehearsed. "Rule 1, don't walk past mirrors in the dark. Rule 2, don't leave any doors open when you go to sleep. Ask your son about Rule 3. He took a step back, then added, almost kindly, "If you hear creaking, you're behind. If you hear rustling, you're close to losing. And if you hear breathing when the lights go out, well, try not to open your eyes." My mouth had gone dry. "And if you hear a bang?" the girl asked cheerfully. Stan smiled wider. "Then the game's almost over." They turned and walked away, hand in hand, disappearing down the street without looking back. I stood there long after they were gone, convincing myself it was just kids playing a stupid prank. I told myself that. I had to. Inside, Jesse sat at the kitchen table, his shoulders shaking. "I heard it," he whispered. "Heard what?" I asked. "A bang." My heart skipped. "When does the game end?"
I asked quietly. Jesse didn't look up. It doesn't. I swallowed. What's Rule 3? He hesitated, then said, knowing all the rules makes you a player. A chill crawled up my spine. And what happens if you lose? He finally looked at me. When it's dark, they come through mirrors and doors. They take you to where they're from. Who does? I asked. Stan and Devin. I laughed weakly. That's not funny. I'm not joking, Jesse said. That's why you have to win. How do you win? He stared at the table. You tell more people the rules than the person who told you. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, Jesse stayed home sick, or at least I told the school he was sick. He spent the entire day avoiding reflections, covering mirrors with towels, closing doors behind him, flinching at every sound the house made. That night, I heard it too, creaking, then rustling, then breathing. I didn't open my eyes. The third night, there was a bang from Jesse's room. When I ran in, the room was empty. The window was closed. The mirror was covered. Jesse was gone. The police said there were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no witnesses. They asked about custody disputes, online contacts, runaways. I told them everything except the rules, because I understood then. I'd been told, which meant I was playing and losing. The first time I heard knocking from inside my closet, I nearly screamed. The second time, I started writing. I told coworkers, neighbors, strangers, anyone who would listen. Some laughed, some nodded politely, some listened too closely. I kept count. I had to, because at night, when the house is dark, I hear footsteps where mirrors used to be. I hear breathing behind doors I swear I closed. And sometimes, when I'm almost asleep, I hear a child giggle. I think I'm winning now. I hope you understand why I needed you to read this, why I needed you to listen. Thank you for helping me. Enjoy your night. And if you see Stan or Devin, tell them I said hello.
If this story followed you into the dark, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to The Terror Teller, and turn on notifications because the next story might find you when you least expect it. Leave a comment below. Tell me what disturbed you the most. And remember, somewhere out there, another story is already waiting to be told. Until next time, stay afraid.